So here we have it, game number 2 of this best of 3. A lot on the line for these two players, quite substantial amounts of money, a couple of €100 if you get into the finals, definitely where you want to be. And spawning to the top right hand position, the person who started off this series with a win, representing Alien Invasion, we have Golden. And his opponent to the lower left, the blue Protoss player, playing for Duck now. It is first. So, first, it was formerly on Incredible Miracle, currently teamless, I believe. This is going to be a very interesting game, specifically with how game number 1 went. It was very exciting. Golden went hatch pull into a big roach play. I mean, big roach play. And it worked. He got himself the win, he breached the natural base, and despite first being the one aggressive early on with the DTs, Golden kept a cool head, focused, counterattacked, and just closed out the game, getting himself the win. And that's all that really matters in StarCraft. History does not remember how you won, it just remembers that you did. Super early drone scout coming out as well from Golden. He's just sitting here like, okay, I'm a game up, I do not want to die to cheese. No. Sees the forge, is going to be aware therefore that this could be a cannon rush, and so the response is I'll go for a pull first. Not the hatch first, not going to risk it, play it safe. The drone going to get a little bit of harassment up, steals 5 minerals because that's what drones do. But all in all, this is now a very interesting game. Drone already getting pulled, just to make sure that it can't go for that annoying block, and we may actually see that depending on whether or not the Nexus comes down. But with 2 probes here, it is an attempt by first to take the Nexus. Does manage to get it down. There we go. So should be seeing cannons. Instead, just a normal opening. Forge, fast expand coming down at the moment. Going to be very excited to see where this game goes from now, because we're in uncharted territory on Golden's side, going for that pull first in response to the fast forge. Will he try and respond with an exceptionally quick third base, like his game plan in the first map? Or is he going to play it a bit differently? Already getting the 4-lings out, so is happy to invest in that earlier safety. Gonna be able to prevent proxy pylons, try and hunt down this probe that is busy sniffing at some rocks. Will it get discovered though? The lings coming through, they shouldn't be able to see it from there. Very unusual place to actually come and check down here in order to try and see if there is a pylon or not. Everywhere else getting checked, but that probe for the moment hiding somewhat in plain sight, just hidden around the corner at the moment, is going to be able to get away with it. Both watchtowers taken, a lot of map vision for the Alien Invasion player as he moves in to take his Overlord to this little shelf where it's nice and safe to peek on everything that the Protoss players do. Cybercore is now on its way down, and this is obviously just the standard tech route. With 2 gases and already a decent amount getting banked up, First does have the option to tech relatively quickly. He's an amazing player when it comes to Phoenix. We've seen him utilize those well this evening so far. But whether he can do that up against a player of Golden's caliber is something that we're going to have to really wait and see. Cybercore is now completing, so first bit of tech could get shown. Of course, it was an early forge, so the possibility of a quick +1 upgrade is definitely available, but no. Stargate is going to be the tech of choice. Phoenix certainly a good possibility here, but everything all looking very, very nice at the moment for first. Golden hasn't got a scout off on this yet, and he'll struggle to scout it in that position without sacrificing an Overlord completely. Unfortunately, his probe out on the map did die, so it was discovered. Oh no, it didn't die actually, it just came back home. He hid by the rocks for a little bit and then was just like, you know what, proxy pylons, not my thing. Waiting to see if there is a proxy pylon thrown down though, because if you recall back to the first series where obviously First was playing up against Johnny Rico, he did go for a nice build with the early Stargate into Phoenix into a proxy pylon with gateway units, but a different approach against Golden, looking to go for the Oracle. Potentially a lot more damage can be done. If it can get in and can take out those probes nice and fast, causes a lot of problems, but not always guaranteed to get that damage. The Overlord hasn't got the scout yet, probably not going to be able to achieve that scout. This Stalker will be able to kill it in time, and that means that it's going to come as a bit of a shock Unless, of course, those lings see it. Did the lings see it? Yes, they did. 2 spores immediately started. Beautiful play by Golden there. Gets the vision. Knows now what is on its way. And the spores will be finishing up relatively quick. The third base spore crawler already 2/3 done. Should be pretty much finished by the time the Oracle gets there. Especially if it dilly-dallies around with a change of pathing. The Queen taking a bit of damage to spore. Will get 1 or 2 drones. Trying to find any bits of damage it can. But for the most part, this is not done anywhere near enough. But it is still alive. And while the Oracle is up, it can get more damage done. But early game, this is Golden's. That scout was beautiful. Really did everything that it needed. Back at home, robotics facilities coming down for first. He's adding in the +1. And he takes a third base. So a greedy, economic-based play coming down from the Protoss player. But with the Void Ray out, he can still go Overlord hunting. It's a good pastime for for Void Rays. Of course, they deal nice damage up against those Overlords. Decent speed, and can also harass on the ground as well. This Oracle, now up to 3 kills, backs out to regenerate up shields. Only taken 30 hit points worth of damage, so still fairly viable to go in and try and get some more harassment down once those shields get back up. Also with its high move speed, can identify Overlords that can be hunted by this Void Ray. Activating up Prismatic Alignment to get that bonus damage. Queen actually going to be coming in here to try and get some more damage, but it's the Oracle being pulled back to try and help the defense against these lings that's going to be there firstly. Void Ray will be able to get another kill, will easily be able to back away from those Queens. Off of creep, incredibly slow, so more than enough time to get to safety. Robotics Bay, 2/3 done now, so Colossus production going to get started by first, but his third base is running into a little bit of difficulties. Stalker Zella get taken down by those lings, but with the photon overcharge potential, with the photon cannon already there, gonna have to just back out and play it safe for now. The Spire though, that's nearly completed, and with the Spire coming through, we're probably going to be getting the Corruptor Muta mid-game strategy that we have seen first come up against in his first series of the night. It'll be interesting to see if that's exactly what's coming, but actually first quite a few Mutas on the way. Playing it relatively brave. Obviously knowing the Stargate's down, there's always the option for Phoenix production to have begun. But just banking on actually no, it won't be on its way yet. So a risk potentially, but hey, it's working out alright for the moment for Golden. Golden gonna have to contend up with 3 Stargates worth of production though. Has that Spire been scouted? No, it hasn't. So this is just being built, not blindly, but not with particularly great information behind it. Just saying, okay, you've only got lings. I've seen no roaches, no hydras. A Spire seems quite likely. May have actually seen the mutas coming out across the map. I'm not sure if he managed to pick that up with the Oracle, but either way, in now come these Mutalisks. Only 3 Stalkers, but there are 5 sentries. A couple of probes getting taken out here. Golden really looking to pick this away. He's got a flank ready for a lot of lings to move in towards the third base, but that's heavily fortified thanks to those 3 cannons and some good SimCity. Back we go now with more of these mutas. They discover the Oracle, intercept it, destroy it, and feeling very happy with themselves. Less happy for these mutas though is the fact that 3 Phoenix are being produced at a time. Phoenix have basically never-ending kiting potential up against mutas, and so if they can actually kite well, cause a lot of problem. Mothership Core takes a bit of damage, triggers a photon overcharge, now the natural and the main, and we'll get another kill on a Phoenix there, so a nice pick off. In total only 1 Mutalisk has so far died, and with the +1 air weapons about to kick in, that's a nice touch for Golden. But he's got the fleet beacon coming down on first side. That means that we will be seeing the range upgrade for those Phoenix. We've got the +1 air weapons already coming through. So pressure is still coming. We've got the Pylon getting taken down. The Phoenix count only at 5 up against 15 mutas, but the Corruptor's starting to trickle on in as well. They're really there to zone out the Phoenix, trying to just force them away from the fragile Mutalisks so they can dish out the damage. So control really is important. What's also important to note is the fact that Golden's gone up to 5 bases. Economically, he's in a really good spot at the moment, so I'm excited to see what he's got planned. And Golden making another Spire. Golden, Golden. Are you going for double air upgrades? I think he will be. Looks like again, we're getting a little bit of lag issues from one of the observers, unfortunately. So, hopefully... What does the fuck say? ZTV being highly amusing there. And Golden responding, that's even more awesome. Luckily nothing critical happening micro-wise at the moment. While we wait for this lag, big shout out to Down the Mall for following my Twitch channel. Thanks for that. Looks like we just gotta wait for this countdown. Good little time to recap though on the game as a whole. Second Spire coming out for Golden. May seem a bit odd, but it's for double air upgrades. Really committing heavily to this Muta Corruptor composition. Also got the +2 melee attack coming down for his Zerglings. That's going to make those Speedlings really devastating if they get up and close to the Gateway army. And that means the pressure's on the air army of the Zerg to take out the Colossi. Looks like everything has been cleared up, so we're going into game yet again. And this Air Force from the Zerg is looking very scary. Clumped up incredibly tightly to prevent the Phoenix from being able to target particularly well. Off to the right, these Zealots on move command are going to meet a clawy, bitey death. I'm not actually sure if Zerglings claw or bite, or if they do both. I imagine they do. They look kind of frantic. They just dig anything sharp they have into you. In the main base, Gateway's getting taken down. Golden looking to really control nicely here. Meanwhile, the Corruptor's back on out. One dies to these Phoenix. They don't have +1 air attack yet, but it's coming through. Meanwhile, on the Zerg side, +2 flyer attack started, +2 flyer armor. Probably going to get started pretty soon as well. Or +1 flyer armor. Meanwhile, Photon Overcharge triggered. The Phoenix are being zoned out by the Corruptors. The Muta count, though, getting a bit low. Contending up against those Photon Cannons and now being caught by the Phoenix. A couple more die there, leaving only 10. But 10 more being produced. Golden, remember, at 5 bases. 10 gases, the golden number for the gas income, mining 1100. That's at 11 mutas per minute. Discovered the robotics bay. Going to be trying to pick that apart, but doesn't want to overextend himself as this army of first moving up at the right, pushing back the Lings for now. 24 more though, going to be replacing them. A lot of lava over on Golden's side, thanks to the 5 hatches and the macro hatchery, giving him good amounts of production. The Corruptor's getting really bold. They're just moving in and just like, oh, you have a mothership core? Not anymore, you don't. Still though, all the control of the map coming from Golden's side. He's just staying on top of everything. Good observer placement from first though. He's going to see where this army's moving to so he can try and intercept it when needed. Over to the right, the 4th base, potential location for first. A lot of Speedlings sitting there. Meanwhile, these Phoenix will discover a couple of mutas. The Corruptor's not in front, but when they are, one very damaged one will fall. Nice takeout there. Still though, pressure being applied. 3rd base now going to be the target of most of it. Photon Cannon will die. 2nd Photon Cannon also going down. Pincer movement coming through now from first. Trying to come from both angles. But Golden's just happy to take his time with this, not rushing. Engagement though now coming in. The Corruptors engaging nicely. The Mutalisks also trying to get some damage down. The Colossi all falling, but a lot of those Mutalisks are also going to die. The Phoenix count is insane. 21 on the field with +1 air attacks. Devastatingly effective. But with no Colossi remaining, the ground units, the Zerglings, could get a lot done. These Phoenix still just being ridiculously effective, even up against the Corruptors. There's just so many of them, though the damage output is great, especially when they isolate just a couple of Corruptors at a time. The Muta count has now been completely taken down. No Mutas remain on the field, just a lot of Corruptors coming through. But by getting so many Corruptors, a lot of the supply is banked up in them. And sure, that's going to help against these Phoenix, but what about when they're dead? What's there to deal with the ground? Nothing but Lings. The Corruptors still engaging in small numbers at a time, allowing these Phoenix to actually trade alright. They'll have to back away from that slightly larger number though. Lings counter-attacking, taking out this 4th base, getting some really good damage down, and will force the cancel, preventing further expansions from the Protoss player. Golden keeping a grip on his opponent's economy. Still, not much else to be said. Just a lot of Lings, a lot of Corruptors out on Golden side, and the Phoenix really doing all they can for first. They've got +2 air weapons with +3 air weapons on its way. Void Rays coming through as well, just to try and stop this mass of Corruptors, of which there's already 19. The scary thing is in the form of the Infestors though. If too many of them hit the field, that's where Fungals can suddenly become absolutely terrifying. Good amount of army down on both sides, both around that 190, 200 supply mark. In come the Corruptors, they're just chasing down the Colossi. They don't even care. There's like, things are attacking us. Don't give a shit. We've got so many. That means the Lings though have got a bit more free reign. And with the +2 attack upgrades, they're actually dealing very efficiently with all else that remains on the ground. A lot more of these Phoenix trying to find any avenues to get more damage. But there's the Infestor. The Fungal is good. That's allowing quite a few of these Phoenix to get taken down. I say quite a few. 2 died. Only a single Fungal, no chain Fungals available, due to only a single Infestor being on the field. Golden, he's got a good bank. He's now taking the 6th base at the gold location, really ramping up his economy even further, while still trying to deny the 4th of his opponent. Phoenix flies straight into the Corruptors. The Golden base, though, of first that's getting taken, able to be saved momentarily thanks to some good force fields, but how long can that last? The Phoenix now going on a little bit of harassment potential, but with the Corruptors here taking down most things, it's going to be very, very tough long-term for first. Adding in more Void Rays, we'll be able to contend with those Corruptors, but look at the ground. The Lings just swarming. Queens coming in from behind as well. The Void Ray count, while they should deal well with Corruptors, the numbers just massively on the Corruptors side. The ground army, though, able to take out the Lings quite nicely. The 4th base currently still standing. And that is the important thing for first, is he needs that base up. Really essential to this game going well for him. The Corruptors pulling away, retreating back to safety. And first is making progress. The Mutas, though, are on their way back out. Golden producing 20 of them. But the Phoenix are still there. Admittedly only 14. Now a fair few have faced their death. 24 in total. But they're still a good deterrent. The control for Golden has to be good. He's got 6 bases though. And these Phoenix, they may come and rampage drone lines, but still. 6 bases. That's a good spot for a Zerg player to be in. Golden has now got his 4th up, but it's heavily damaged. Not yet mining. And no gas is taken there. The economy is hugely on Golden's side. Look at that difference. It's massive. But what can these Mutalisks do? 21 on the field. Golden really pumping all of his money into the air yet again. A couple more Phoenix are going to fall, and this is causing some problems. 3 Void Rays are in production. The Mutas moving on forward. A fungal growth is going to hit quite a lot of stuff, including some of those Stalkers on the ground. The Mutalisk count down to only 13, though the Phoenix being controlled beautifully by first. Pulls them away, but there's only now 5 remaining. The 9 Mutalisks, though, aren't that scary. Not enough to deal with the Stalkers and Sentries on the ground, let alone both of them. The 4th base up and running now for first. He's got a decent amount of income coming from that. 30 probes currently being transferred across. So heavily oversaturated, but hey, nowhere else has any minerals. More Phoenix. Actually, sorry, more Corruptors and more Mutas coming down. But Void Rays only on the cards at the moment for first. This is still a tense game, and with these Phoenix attempting to harass a bit more, we can see that the Workers Killed tab really favouring first. And that's why he's up in probes at the moment. And that's something that Golden doesn't really want. Despite being 2 bases up, he wants to really knock that number of probes down, or at least try and end this game up, because he's kind of got stuck in that situation where he can't seem to finish. He keeps harassing nicely, but he needs more still. Phoenix count is actually dwindling quite substantially, and there's 20 Mutalisks up against 11 Stalkers and 4 Sentries. So this is actually quite a nice position. The Robotics Bay is going to get taken down. That means no more Colossi, especially if this Robotics Facility falls as well. The Stargate should get capped, allowing any Phoenix to pop out to get picked off exceptionally fast. And this is a nice position. First, counter-attacking with some Zealots. This is an undefended 4th base. A couple of Lings try to find a way through. No more Colossi on the cards. Obviously, the Robotics Facility and Bay now taken down means that there's very little in the way of chance of teching back up that easily for first. But first, going for the shield upgrades. He's still adding in more Stargates, more Phoenix. 6th base, or 5th base of Golden, able to survive, 130 HP, but he loses more drones in the process. 33 have so far been killed. More dying over at his gold base, but the economy's still looking good. The infestor count, 0, 1 again being produced. That fungal growth really feeling like an essential piece of the puzzle for Golden at the moment. First, he's kept this gold base up for quite a while, but he's still down by 2 bases despite having that. And first isn't going to get into an easy opportunity to try and take that. 14 Corruptors, 11 Phoenix. The air battle is very tense. The Muta's going to be swinging it in the Zerg favour though, with 30 of them currently down and 7 more Corruptors on their way through. 28 minutes through this game, and we are really in the late game intensive micro stages at the moment. These Lings looking for an avenue to attack, but it's the main base that's exposed. While there are a great deal of Photon Cannons here, the Stargates are going to be the predominant target. Out come a couple of Phoenix, there's more reinforcing back, but if the Stargates die, the production of Phoenix is heavily hindered. Down goes another one, more Photon Cannons getting targeted at the moment. The Muta's going head up to that. They've got +3 attacks, so they deal a surprisingly high amount of damage. But with +2 armor, they've also able to take a good beating. First, had enough of this, now goes for the counter-attack. Going to try and destroy this 5th base, and because it's so low and there's so many Voidways, not going to take much hassle doing that. Stargate's getting taken down, the production in the main really being prioritized at the moment. Maltosis Pylon depowers both Stargates, but is this going to end up in a full base race? First, a little bit indecisive. Does he want to pull back? Does he want to try and trade? A base race when your opponent has more bases is always risky, but mass recall is on the cards. Production really going down. More Stargates being made at the 3rd base, trying to just keep up that Phoenix output. A couple of additional Infestors, though, being produced, and they are an important piece of the puzzle for Gold. But he doesn't have Pathogen Glands. He never researched it, so they don't pop out with enough energy to fungal, which means these Phoenix could kill them nice and efficiently. The gold base will get saved thanks to these Mutas dealing just so much damage, and First is still contending up with this, dealing as much damage as he can with the Phoenix, picking apart anything that appears. 3 Infestors are down now. They're just waddling, scurrying towards the safety of these Corruptors and Mutas. The Mutas intercept a lot of the Phoenix, actually get a fair few kills there. Only 8 remain. The ground army of the Protoss player, though, still quite substantial. 91 army supply to 104. But Golden heavily supply blocked, being forced to remake those Overlords. And also his drone count not that high, only 45. The efficiency of which he engages now is integral. The Corruptors have to be able to engage. The Infestors just waiting patiently. They want to get that sneaky chain fungal down on these Phoenix. Are they going to be able to grab it? They're not moving forward yet. I'm not sure if the Phoenix would have seen that. They probably did. So just backing away to safety. There's a good number of Archons there. We're past the 30-minute mark now in this second game, and both of these two are really fighting for it. Golden wants to advance 2-0 to face up against Snoop, doubling his prize money minimum. First though, he wants to level out this series, wants it to become that ace game. Forward now come the Mutalisks. The gold base of First is going to fall. That is his last mining base other than the bottom right one. So this is still looking very tense. Couple of units sacrificed in order to do that, though. Both players taking substantial losses. The Infestors lifted, and this is not an army that Golden can engage with Corruptors and Mutas. There's too many Voidways, too many Phoenix, and those Archons to get the splash damage down. This is so tense. First moving forward now, looking to get a bit more of a killing blow. Needs to take out this base if he can. The Corruptors coming from all angles. The Mutalisks attempting to get more damage, but the Archons dealing so much damage through. Golden up in supply though, able to work down all of this Protoss force thanks to the good engagement angle. The Stalkers, the Sentries, the Voidways, everything dying. Golden crushes and now goes for the counter-attack. His Mutaflock still high, 18 of them on the field, and the response to that is 8 Phoenix. That is all. Not a great spot. A lot of Photon Cannons though, 18 of them on the field, but with the +3/3 air upgrades, the Mutas are actually going to contend with this quite well, especially if there's only one pylon powering them. Cancels the gold base yet again. The bottom right base really is the critical piece to this puzzle. Golden in a nice spot. Nearly double his opponent's supply, up by 80 on army supply. So much lies with these Phoenix, but I just don't know if they can do it. A second pylon being made to try and prevent a similar situation, but with the Lings coming in, one pylon dies, the second one going to get focused quickly. The 3-3 upgrades on those Mutas makes them ever such high damage dealers. Overcome the Phoenix though. The Mutas jumping on top of them. Not going to get the best trade as they back away, but that Muta count down to 9 leaves the Lings just happy to kill anything that they can find. The Corruptors were out of position. They're not saving these Mutas, and that means the Mutalisk flock down to only 4. The Corruptors not good at anything other than killing off those Phoenix. Down goes the Nexus though, the last mining base, and nothing can be done. GG is called, and Golden takes this series 2-0 to advance on to face Snoot.